It was inevitable. Wow. Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So things are really starting to ramp up now. The last episode we saw Zemo is teaming up with Bucky and Sam. I think Zemo still has something up his sleeve though. We were introduced to Manipur, which is this new location which it turns out is from the X-Men comics. So it's cool to see more integration with X-Men stuff into the MCU now. And there were even references to things that happened. There were references to Wolverine apparently that I missed. There's been some theories about this power broker figure. Some people think it could be Sharon, which I'm not sure. She seems very tied into this kind of underground world now, so she could be. At the end of the last episode they left us with that cliffhanger with Wakanda now being introduced, so I'm wondering where they're going to go with that. Maybe they're after Zemo. I think that's probably what it is, because Zemo killed T'Chaka and he never really got punished properly for it by Wakanda, but that was what T'Challa wanted. So it's just, I don't know if they're going to address T'Challa in this, or because I think this was actually filmed before Chadwick passed, so maybe they won't. And then the title of this episode is The Whole World is Watching, so I think this might be the start of John Walker's downfall. I mean, by the title it sounds like something's going to happen and John is going to do something really bad and everyone's going to see it. This is like the start of his downfall. Before we get into it, make sure to check out the Patreon for full-length reactions and early access to other shows. I've got Jujutsu Kaisen coming soon. On Monday, I'm going to start doing some of the movies that have been nominated for Oscars. So The Sound of Metal is finally being released in the UK, so I can finally watch that. Because the only thing that I have seen that's been nominated for an Oscar so far is Trial of the Chicago 7. Okay, let's get into it. The drum motif is so iconic at this point.
I won't let you hurt anyone.
Is this then like wiping his memory, clearing his mind? Oh. They're like testing him to build a resistance against it. I know the future episodes have come with a violence warning as well, so that's kind of exciting. This is some good acting from Sebastian Stan. Wow.
You are free. You are free.
Wow. The ends justify the means. That's kind of a common thing here, happening with Carly and with John Walker.
Or may not have happened.
There's nothing to litigate. You straight shot the man.
Sam.
What?
Yeah. They're not gonna just let that go.
What's the damage?
To the Avengers.
Hey, those are friends you're talking about.
The Avengers, not the Nazis.
But there has to be a peaceful way to...
The desire to become a superhuman cannot be separated from supremacist ideals.
John Walker wants that serum as well, doesn't he?
Wrong, Zemo. The serum never corrupted Steve.
Touché.
Hmm.
But there has never been another Steve Rogers, has there?
No, there hasn't.
Well,
I mean, in terms of John Walker, Sam gave him a weird look there.
Your Didi would be proud of you.
After condemning this latest action by the radical group known as the Flag Smashers,
Sam and Bucky are going easy on Zemo for killing the scientist. Is this all setting him up, or is it just they're hiding from him?
I'm not from here, but I have a pretty good track record of helping out.
I know what happens when people say they're going to help.
Hmm.
Lives down the lane.
This Turkish delights, yeah.
Turkish delight.
Something seems menacing. I don't know. He's poisoned it or something. I can't imagine him doing that to kids, but the singing was so menacing.
I would like to pay my last respects. Do you know where her funeral will be? They're very bad.
Oh,
Right back to the way it used to be. To them, at least Carly's doing something.
You really think her ends justify her means? Then she's no different than him or anybody else we fought.
She's different. She's not motivated by the same things.
they've barely met her though. They can't know that.
You want to see what someone can do with leverage?
Take it easy. Don't engage him. He's just going to extort you and do that stupid head tilt thing.
These are serums? Or something else?
My grandfather
Look like there were 8 there.
was a World War II.
This serum is how we make change.
What are they going to do with the last ones though? The Mama Donya was just a figure that they respected. I don't think it was related to Carly.
And he's not my partner.
I used to counsel soldiers dealing with trauma, okay?
Yeah, look at that. Who was treating Sam like Sam was second to Bucky.
Wait, John. If you can talk her down, might be worth a try.
The Mars can get to him a bit.
Until Mama Donya. Like a lot of you here, Mama Donya saved me.
These last serums are just like Chekhov's gun, just waiting for someone to get powered up. This is great, just Sam being an onlooker. He's obsessed. Oh, he's looking at that shield, what?
A little bit of both.
He's getting impatient.
No. This is a bad idea.
It hasn't been 10 minutes, John, just sit tight.
Don't.
I think John's going to end up killing Carly at some point.
You're killing innocent people.
They're not innocent. They're roadblocks in my journey and I kill them.
No, they were just working for the GRC.
I mean it like that.
I'm not your enemy. I agree with your fight. And I'm sure she wouldn't either.
This is really good.
Carly Morgenthau, you're under arrest.
So this is what that was?
No, Carly,
Tricking
wait.
me until your backup arrived.
There we go. I guess he can pick locks. This is where they just were. This soundtrack's really good. Oh. There's more. There's all the serum.
Is this what I think it is?
He's just destroying it, yeah. Did he get all of it, or is John gonna get some? He's gonna take it. He has to. Oh my god, that look in his eyes. This is what he thinks will make him the super soldier.
Man, let's be clear. Shield or no shield, the only thing you're running in here is your mouth. Carly.
She just there the whole time.
Well, let's put down the pointy sticks, and we can talk this through.
Now he wants to talk.
Take it easy. Section here.
The Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find themselves.
Okay. Look, I think we got off on the wrong foot.
Are their spears vibranium? Zemo always slips away in the conflict. I'm just waiting for him to slip away and just be gone forever, but he always turns back up. They built that in as a failsafe. Oh. Oh, he's just falling off the deep end. It's kind of sad to see. It's that same motif from Civil War. The dun 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 dun. Wow.
Yeah, have a good day.
It's all the front. Look at it.
We both know that the things that we had to do in Afghanistan to be awarded those medals felt a long way from being right.
Mm.
Being cap's the first time I've had the chance to do something that actually feels right.
But God, imagine how many lives we could have saved that day if we had that, Sarah.
I know.
If he was smart, he'd take the serum back so they could replicate it, but he's just going to take it himself, I think.
Who would you have chosen instead?
My world doesn't matter to America, so why should I care about its mascot?
Mm-hmm.
I like you, Sarah.
Why me?
Because he needs to know that I'm serious.
How did she get a hold of Sarah? When they were introduced, I should have known that she was going to be used as leverage against Sam. It's a classic setup.
I'm coming with
No, he needs to go actually alone this time.
New cap is moving. Looks like he's found them. Or maybe they found him.
It's Walker.
Are they all going to fight against Walker?
Location, go.
It's like they're trying to stop Walker before he goes too deep. Does anything too where he can't turn back from. If someone's killed Lamar, he's... There goes all your subtlety. I'm not surprised if you had it. Is he taking the serum already? How hard he threw that. And did he have like enhanced hearing earlier? I feel like he's already taken it. There's no way you get that shield in like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, what if John takes out Lamar accidentally? Because he's just attacking anything that's coming towards him. Oh, and there's Carly.
Hey, Lamar.
No. What's he doing? The world is watching. He's just gonna kill Carly in front of everyone. Oh, okay, him. right in a public square. He's just gonna.
It wasn't me! It wasn't me!
It was inevitable. Wow. Oh my god, the shot of the shield with the blood. Wow. Not even an end credit song. Oh, he's coming in now. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hey, that was episode 4. Wow. Didn't expect to have such a visceral reaction. I was so immersed at the end during that last fight. Kind of once John got the serum, I was just on the edge of my seat waiting for something to go wrong, and it was inevitable that it was going to happen even before this episode. But even when it did, I didn't expect it to get me that much. I didn't think the first reaction I cried on was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What? Okay, let's just recap. I forgot to mention it before the episode started that I had found out that there was originally going to be another subplot that they ended up cutting from the show to do with a virus, which it makes sense why they cut because of COVID. Because we'd seen Carly getting the vaccines, and that's what Mama Donya died from, this virus. But they ended up just saying it was tuberculosis or something. It makes sense that they dropped that subplot. It's just a bit too close to home, even though there's still some stuff in this show that is quite heavy hitting. Yeah, I never expected this to go where it's going, to be to tackle such difficult themes, because the MCU doesn't do it that much, really. We started off with Wakanda being reintroduced, with AO talking to Bucky, and they're obviously after Zemo. It makes a lot of sense, and they just gave him a bit more time. I'm actually just like find it hard to oh yeah, so we started with the scene of AO training Bucky to be able to withstand the prompts to activate him as the Winter Soldier. That was a really powerful scene, actually. The performance there by Sebastian Stan was really good. It's like maybe the most emotion we've seen out of him, and this kind of sense of relief of him finally being free was really powerful. That's only kind of deepening the connection, because before it was just, oh, this is AO we'd seen her in Civil War and Black Panther. She wasn't in Black Panther that much, but this is like showing that she kind of has a strong friendship with Bucky, so this is even harder now for her to have to bring him in or work against him and fight him. And we saw the trio, Sam, Bucky, and Zemo, go to where Mama Donya was. And like the people, they know who Sam is, but they don't trust him. It shows this other side to the world where no, the Avengers aren't icons to everyone. Not everyone loves them. There's some people that hate them, in fact, like these people, because if you're seeing, you know, the Avengers out saving the world or whatever, they're like saving from immediate threat, but your day-to-day life isn't that affected by them. You know, the Avengers don't save people from poverty, they don't end homelessness, there's a lot of things they don't do, a lot of problems that are still around. So it makes sense that some people think they can do all this, why can't they also help us in these other ways? We saw a bit more of Sharon, and this theory that Sharon could be the power broker, I'm not quite sure on it yet. Because we've seen now that she has access to satellites, so even if she isn't the power broker, she's very high up in the world of Madripoor, so must know who he is. Almost like the shows intentionally keep repeating using he, him pronouns for the power broker, and that makes it so that if it was Sharon, it's like they're trying to hide that it's Sharon because they keep calling him he. So I don't know yet. I'm still holding off on that theory. If it is if it's not her, I think it will just be a random person. I don't think it'll be someone we know. I can't think of like who it could be apart from her. It could be the Mandarin, but why would they call him the power broker? Because I know the actual Mandarin is supposed to make a return in Shang-Chi. Yeah, I can't think of anyone else that I think it could be, or that I kind of want it to be. It could be someone we have seen before, like David Hammer or something, but I don't think that would quite have a big impact. You know, you'd just be like, oh, it's him. He never had that much of a role before. Or like Sam Rockwell's character, who was head of AIM. Well, is that the same person? Justin Hammer, was he head of AIM? So long ago since I've seen these. We had this really great conversation between Carly and Sam, and then of course John had to come in and ruin it, and now Carly doesn't trust Sam as much, which is really unfortunate, because you can see Carly's perspective really well and completely understand her motive. And then there's this theme of, do the ends justify the means throughout this whole show, really, with what Carly's doing. Then it came up again with Zemo talking to Sam and Bucky, and then with John Walker is kind of the ultimate, he's like the epitome of that, because now he's murdered someone in broad daylight on, you know, the people recording him. That's everywhere now. It's not something Steve would do. I think Steve has killed people, like, but it was never at that level. I don't know how to explain it. Steve never directly killed someone. Like, I imagine, like, in The Winter Soldier, when he kicks that guy off the boat, like, there must be some people around that Steve killed, but it was never just, like, an execution like it was with this guy. I had a feeling that it would be Carly that John killed, and he still could, but it was this Carly's friend here who you've seen quite a bit. He has had some characterization, but I don't know his name. Yeah, so this conversation between Sam and Carly, they're both suffering from similar problems, with Sam not being able to get the loan, and Carly, like, they've both been disadvantaged because of the blip. I actually quite like Zemo's motive now, that he doesn't want there to be any super soldiers or any superheroes for that reason. I think it reminds me a lot of the My Hero Academia villain Overhaul, who his motive was to just erase superpowers altogether. And Zemo destroyed all these vials, but was stopped at the last minute by John. And just as soon as that happened, I was like, there's going to be one left and John's going to get it and become the super soldier. And I was kind of on the edge of my seat from that point onward. I could feel my heart racing at some points. Wow. And then they reused this track. I don't think they didn't reuse the track, but they had the same leitmotif as there's like this track that plays in Civil War. It's really tragic. I'll play a little clip of it if I. And they played something very similar in this. I've mentioned before that Civil War is my favorite movie, and in the MCU, and the bit at the end of that where Bucky, Steve, and Tony are all fighting, and that music playing, that's probably one of my favorite moments in the whole of the MCU. So for them to reuse that track, it's just like, it got such a reaction from me. I think as soon as they had captured the Mar, I mean, as soon as John got his hands on the serum, it was kind of inevitable. It's always been inevitable that something was going to go wrong. He was going to go too far. And from the title of the episode, The World is Watching, I had predicted that. And yeah, it happened. I said in the reaction, there's a part where I was worried that it would be John who killed the Mar, because he was just, blindly fighting everyone off, and the Mar comes along, maybe he hits him. But that's not what happened. I'm not sure who did the hit on the Mar, actually, if it was Carly or one of the other Flag Smashers, but it kind of doesn't matter who it was. It's the Flag Smashers who did it, in his eyes. There was also this moment where John calls Sam Bucky's partner, and I don't know, there's something just about the way he worded it that makes it seem like he sees Sam as Bucky's sidekick, and him having Lamar as a sidekick as well is kind of telling. It's not something that's like shouted in your face, but the show is talking about that have themes of systematic racism, and something about that, the way that John said it makes it seem like he sees Sam as a sidekick rather than an actual person. He sees him as a sidekick to Bucky, which is just further shows kind of what differentiates John Walker from Steve. Now, it was inevitable that John was going to take it too far, but even knowing that, it still hit me, kind of the weight of it, when he was out in this public square basically executing this member of the Flag Smashers. It just hit me, and I'm not sure why. I think it's just knowing that things could have been different and what the consequences from this will be. It makes it difficult. And I do wonder what's going to happen next. If everyone's seen this, will the US government take the shield away from John and lock him up? I don't know. If they lock him up, I can imagine him escaping. And then I'm not sure where the show goes from here. Is Carly going to be the final villain? Is it going to be Sam teaming up with Carly? Because when there's that part where Sam and Bucky were having the conversation with Carly, and then Sam said, "Oh no, John's here." At that point, I thought those three, Sam, Bucky, and Carly, were going to team up together to try and stop John. But that wasn't quite what happened. I do think there could be some sort of solution here, making Carly giving her some sort of political power. Maybe make her the head of the GRC. I'm not sure. There could be some sort of solution here that doesn't end in violence, but I don't know if that's the way the show will go. I could see John being stripped of the shield now and going rogue. Sam and Bucky having to try and rein him back, and it's just everything is kind of tumbling out of control at this point. I'm not sure what Carly's plan from now will be, because she wanted to create more super soldiers, but all of the serums are gone now. Zemo destroyed them, and John's taken one. We had that scene where John and Lamar were sitting at the table. Lamar was kind of convincing, it was like he was convincing John to take the super soldier serum. So John still had some doubts about it, but then Lamar was like, look, you got 3 medals. So it's coming back to what I said in one of the previous videos of John thinks what differentiates him from Steve is the strength, but that's not at all what it is. It's the psychology. He's fallen off the deep end now. Kind of the anger, it's just not something that Steve had. Steve, at his heart, it was kind of pure, but that's not the same with John. He's kind of selfish. He wants all this glory for himself, and he thinks he's doing it for the right cause. Like, he says he wants to do something right, but why does he want to do something right? Is it so he can feel satisfied to make up for what he did in these wars? Because they said that he's got these medals of honors, but what he did in Afghanistan he isn't proud of, so he's trying to make amends for that. That's how kind of I interpret it. This was an amazing episode. I think topped the last episode. The last episode was really fun because we got, Zemo and all the shenanigans happening and Sam and Bucky's banter, but this episode, it kind of increased the stakes so much. I think this is the best episode of the show so far, and I think after this episode, it's kind of surpassed WandaVision for me. This is kind of, maybe I'm just still running off the high of the episode because I've just watched it, but this feels like some of the top tier stuff in the MCU at this point, like kind of up there with Civil War, Endgame, Infinity War. I'm really enjoying this now. I mean, I've enjoyed it since the start, but this episode was just amazing. I didn't expect myself to have this much of a reaction to it as well. Okay, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like or a comment and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more. And check out the Patreon if you want to see a full-length timer-based reaction or early access to other shows. And yeah, thanks for watching.